Alright guys, welcome to today's video. Again, this is an updated list of my top 5 book recommendations for beginners. Again, someone who's trying to get to 1300 on chess.com. So I removed a couple of books. The first one was Silman's Endgame course. And the reason is at the beginner level, it's mostly about tactics. You don't really need to learn endgames to get to 1300 on chess.com. Of course, it helps. But again, I removed that book. The other book that I removed was Logical Chess Move by Move. So that one I would put at number 6. So we'll begin off by saying that if you're trying to get to 1300 on chess.com, make sure you are playing longer time controls to, again, better improve, better grow from your games. I recommend 15 minutes rapid on chess.com, or you can also try classical chess, either at tournaments, over the board, at your chess club, or on chess.com. I'll have links in the description for where you can join clubs on chess.com and on Lichess to play longer time control games, because ultimately this is what's going to better improve your chess. So make sure you're playing a lot. Make sure you're analyzing your games, going over your games, trying to see what were the crucial moments of your game, trying to verbalize what happened in the position. Did you have a strong center? Were you attacking on the queen side? Did you have weak squares? Things like that, so you know what happened in the game. Mostly at the lower levels, it's all about tactics. Maybe you blundered a piece. That's also something you can work on. So let's start with this video. So this book is a book that I recommended before, and it pretty much takes you from learning the rules of chess to opening principles, covers tactics, strategy, end games. So let's go ahead and go over the chapters. After reading this book, you should be able to play in tournaments. Now, if you want to play in tournaments, again, I recommend you to be at least 1200 on chess.com so you can have a good time and not lose all your games. If you're too lower rated, you might lose all your games and not have a good time. So I'm thinking about 1200 is a good measure where you can start playing over the board tournaments. So again, it has fundamentals: how to mate with a rook and a king versus a king, checkmate with a queen and a king versus a king, tactics, more tactics, opening principles, pawn structure, a little bit about pawns, a little bit about strategy, weak squares and space, end game. So it covers 3 end games: king and pawn versus king, and the opposition, king, rook's pawn, and run colored bishop versus king, and opposite colored bishop. So pretty much these are the only end games you need to reach 1300 on chess.com, because mostly the rest of your training should be focused on playing a lot of games, analyzing your games without the engine first, and then with an engine, and then doing a lot of tactics. Again, it covers how to design your own training program and how computers play chess. So yes, so this one I would replace with Silman's Endgame course. An Endgame course would probably be at number 7, right? So let's go on to our next book. So my next recommendation is a Chessable course. It's a free Chessable course, Smithy's Opening Fundamentals. It has a pretty strong rating and lots of users. So again, this covers opening principles. Well, I'll just go over number 1, 2, and 3. General opening principles and the concept of time. You'll discover and drill most common tactical patterns found in the opening. And finally, you'll review and complete annotated games which combine the 2 previous sections into a single harmonious whole. So again, when you go over the books, I recommend you to do it to have a board out and go over the moves over the board. It just makes it more active, and you'll learn more by doing that. Again, we'll teach you general opening play, so it's targeted for beginners. So let's go ahead and go preview the chapters. And again, I just recently about to complete this course. So generally the feel that I have is that I found it more helpful than logical chess move by move. I just think it's more helpful because it covers opening principles, right? Logical chess also does cover some of that, but this was more focused on games that show examples of players who waste moves in the opening, who don't develop their pieces, and how they lose those games. So section 1 covers those principles, concept of time when opponents make unnecessary pawn moves or waste moves, and how they end up losing the games, how a player controls the center and uses that to win a game. And then section 3 covers common tactics, different tactics in the opening. And then section 4 has annotated games that cover all these topics. So that's why it's now at my number 2 recommendation in logical chess is now at number 6. So and then the rest of my recommendations are pretty much the same as my previous video. Again, chess mazes has different mazes for each piece, puzzles, so you can incorporate that into your puzzle training. And this is going to train you to not blunder your pieces, right? To keep track of the squares that are being attacked by your opponent's pieces. Therefore, you visualize and place your piece on a safe square. And you can also start practicing identifying and keeping track of your opponent's undefended and defended pieces. So again, it has to do with the board vision. And now everyone's first chess workbook. Again, now you start working on tactical vision. Let's go over the chapters. Again, the part 1 is the most important part, general board visualization, capturing free pieces, counting attackers and defenders, introduction to defense, assorted checkmates in 1. So most books that I've read just start at part 2, right? They don't cover the capturing free pieces. They might have tactics on that, but they don't cover counting attackers and defenders, which is a calculation. And then most tactic books don't have a chapter on defense, right? This one does. And this one also has a chapter on checkmate patterns. So again, very helpful for beginners. And then last is more tactics, but focusing on defense. So again, you have the chapters here, and that's pretty much it. That's all. And again, if you do complete this book, you can also check out the rest of the series. It's very helpful. But again, once you do the tactics, you can do the second cycle, which is do the tactics again and try to do them faster and faster. That way, the tactics are kind of intuitive. It's automatic to you, and you're better able to find them faster in games. But that's pretty much it. Let me know what you thought about this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.